Hello and welcome to the Rebelle Review Show. I'm your host Alexander Rebelle and I welcome you from the couch that I happen to be sitting at. Today I'm going to teach you how to speak Spanish. This is a systematic and in-depth tutorial that will teach you everything you need to know in order to communicate in Espanol. And it starts right now. Step 1. Travel to Canada. In order for you to properly learn Spanish, you'll have to make a trip to the land of the true north, strong and free. Canada is a proud country, a patriotic country, and a country where you will begin to learn how to speak Spanish. You can choose any Canadian city you want. You can go to Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, or even Winnipeg. Those are excellent choices for you to begin learning Spanish. And once you're in Canada, you'll proceed to step number 2. Go camping. Your journey of learning Spanish will begin with a camping trip out in the Canadian wilderness. The Canadian wilderness is a very important part of the Spanish language. You see, back after the fall of the Roman Empire in 476 AD, the survivors of the Roman Empire fled to Canada in order to seek refuge from the Germanic tribes that had sacked the empire. It was here in Canada that the Spanish language developed over the course of 100 years after the survivors of Rome settled it. But you'll need several things in order to complete the step, and I just happen to have all those things right here. The first thing you'll need is LSD, like this. This is an entire bottle of LSD. This stuff is really good. You'll use it to start making a more spiritual connection with the origins of the Spanish language. You will see visions of the ancient Roman survivors as they develop the Spanish language, and it will establish the connection you need in order to learn the language. But you'll need more than just LSD for step 2. You'll also need cocaine, like this. This is a bag of pure Colombian coke, and you will need it while tripping on the LSD to speed up the process of learning Spanish. Once you snort a few lines of cocaine while tripping on LSD, you'll quickly begin learning Spanish. But you'll need one more thing in order to complete step 2. You'll also need marijuana, like this. This is a bag of the greenest of the green, the kindest of the kind, the stickiest of the ickiest. Once you've snorted a few lines of cocaine while tripping on LSD in the Canadian wilderness, you'll then smoke an entire joint and it will connect you existentially with the Spanish-Canadian language. And once you've done all 3 of these drugs, you'll proceed to step number 3. Punch a sleeping grizzly bear. In order for you to continue your journey toward mastering the Spanish language, you'll have to sneak up on an unsuspecting grizzly bear and punch it in the face. Why? Because you have to learn the accent they use while speaking Spanish. But be careful. Punching the grizzly bear in the face will cause the bear to try to kill you. You will have to avoid the murderous rampage of the bear, but this will not be easy. In order to defeat the bear, you will have to contact my good friend and bear expert, Dr. Victor.
Hello, comrade. Yes, Victor also doctor of bear. But anyway, back in 1980, Soviet Kremlin asked Victor to conduct great glorious study for greatness of Mother Russia. Victor graciously accepted, and Victor began study of big Russian bear and big Canadian bear. Soviet Kremlin had planned to launch invasion of United States through territory north of country. But Kremlin want to know about species of bear that live in territory. You see, Soviet Kremlin had big Russian plan to use mind control on bear as big Russian war machine to destroy United States once and for all. To do this, Victor head to Siberia to study bear native to Russia. This bear called Kamchatka. It's big Russian bear, much like bear that live in territory north of United States. Victor tried to create device that use frequency of bear brain to control action of bear. Victor planned to use bear to assassinate American politician. After 8 months study, Victor created a device called bear machine. Bear machine, big Russian radio that send wave to brain a big Russian bear and tell bear what to do. Victor submit the device to Soviet Kremlin, and Soviet Kremlin create plan to assassinate President Reagan. Soviet Kremlin activate bear machine and send wave to Canadian bear on March 30th, 1981. Unfortunately, bear machine not work on Canadian bear. Canadian bear not do what bear machine tell it. However, on very same day in United States, man named John Hinckley tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan on his own. Soviet Kremlin turned to Victor and asked, Victor, why this happened? And Victor go to work with big Russian study on John Hinckley. After a few weeks, Victor come to conclusion that John Hinckley Jr. is actually big Russian bear, and bear machine work to control him. As always, Victor hailed as hero of Soviet Union. Soviet Kremlin thanked Victor for successful use of bear machine. So in conclusion, if you want to defeat bear in territory north of United States, then call Victor. Victor send you new modified bear machine that also work on big Canadian bear. Call now and Victor also include big Russian bottle of vodka. Call Victor.
Thank you, Victor. So in summary, for step 3, you will punch a sleeping grizzly bear. And that takes us to step number 4. Burn the Canadian forest to the ground. Let's face it, all of those Canadian trees are cramping your style. If you want to learn Spanish, you'll need more space and less air to breathe. The best solution to this problem, of course, is to burn the entire Canadian forest to the ground. But you'll need several things in order to do this, and I just happen to have all of those things right here. The first thing you'll need is a lighter, like this one. This lighter is perfectly suited to torch the Canadian forest. But in order to use it, you'll need another thing to help you. You'll also need a can of gasoline, like this. This is 2 gallons of gasoline I just bought so I could burn the Canadian forest to the ground. I'm going to do it right after this tutorial, but you'll need one more thing in order to help you. You'll also need steroids, like these. These are steroids I just purchased from a Major League Baseball player. His name was, well, it was something Rodriguez, and I think he plays for the New York Yankees. But anyway, you'll need these steroids in order to defend yourself against the rabid Canadians that will attack you. At this point, the Canadians will be furious with your actions, but that's okay because you also have step number 5. Tell Canada your sister is Avril Lavigne. If you tell Canada that you're related to Avril Lavigne, then all of Canada will be confused as it tries to trace your bloodline to their deity. But this will give you an opportunity to escape from Canada and go back to the United States. And once you're back in the United States, you'll proceed to step number 6. Throw a techno party. Now that you know how to speak Spanish, you can use your Spanish in the most useful way possible. At a techno party in Madison, Wisconsin. And once you do this, you will have completed this tutorial. I'm Alexander Rebelle, and thank you for watching the Rebelle Review Show. ¿Aló? Oh, ¿qué pasa? Oh, qué bien. ¿Yo? Nada mucho. Estoy enseñando a mis amigos español. Solo necesito 5 minutos más. Gracias.